First of all, Maziar, what is it like to see yourself portrayed on screen?
I'm really happy that I'm not dead, because usually these films are about dead people, so that is the light and the end of the tunnel. But, you know, as journalists, we tend to put a distance between ourselves and the subjects. So sometimes I can look at the film with a journalistic eye and not be affected by it, but at other times, especially for the family scenes, it's very difficult and emotional to watch. So it's mixed emotions. Sometimes I laugh, sometimes I cry. It's very Liza Minnelli type of, viewing for me.
But is it true to your experience, the film?
It is true. Certain things are not what happened in reality, of course, but it's a true. And I think what John and we tried to achieve while working on the script, and what John wanted to do in the film, was to tell a universal truth rather than go for the reality, because we could never achieve the reality. Even if we filmed in Iran, it would not be real, because there were constraints and we could not recreate those moments. So I think John came up with the idea to have the universal truth based on my story, inspired by my story.
So, John, why did you take on this project in the first place? It was very much down to you. You drove it forward. If it wasn't for you, it wouldn't have happened. Why this project for your first-time film?
It was really a very organic process. Having come from, generally with the show, and I hope this isn't a spoiler, our correspondents don't actually go anywhere. They're usually standing 10 feet away from me in front of a green screen with a picture of wherever it is that we've placed them. When George,
you should remember that
yes.
Next time you want to go to Rwanda.
Looks a lot
exactly.
easier.
When George W. Bush called Iran the axis of evil, it was something that was irresistible to us as comedians. We wanted to see this place. We had not known that a place of evil existed, that Sauron could be found. So we tried very hard to get there, because I think that my general sense of the world is most countries have a relatively two-dimensional view of others, and especially when it becomes adversarial. George W. Bush calling them the axis of evil is as reductive as the burning of a flag and the chanting of death to America. So we wanted to go there to interview these evil people who would obviously display nothing but humanity. And Iran decided they did not want us to do that because they're evil. When the 2009 election came about, they liberalized their visa policy, and we sort of piggybacked on that and got in. But our intention was not for the election. It was for these bits that we had planned about being with going into their homes and saying, so this is the cave you live in to plot our destruction, and then it would just be like them and their children with a Moog synthesizer. The election kind of took everybody by storm. We left to go edit the pieces, and that's when we found out that all those individuals that Maziar had invited us to speak to had also been arrested. So in truth, we knew that Newsweek magazine had been working very hard on behalf of Maziar to get him out, but there was an old revolutionary named Ibrahim Yazdi, whose family lives in New Jersey, and we were more in contact with his family to see what we could do to help expedite his release. He was an older gentleman. He was not in great health. And our first instinct was to never speak of it again and pretend that it never happened, so that we didn't get anyone else in any more trouble. It was his family and Newsweek that convinced us that more was what was required. So we began to do more and more pieces about Iran, about the events of Iran. We had Ibrahim Yazdi's son on the program to talk about it. We talked about Maziar's situation with Fareed from Newsweek. We did all the things that hopefully would help the incredible campaign that Newsweek and Paula had arranged on Maziar's behalf.